Let's also welcome in Mr. Gurnani now, joining us, on really how Tech Mahindra is coping with the crisis currently. Mr. Gurnani, thanks so much for joining us. I know how difficult it must have been to take time out when dealing with what's going on right now. You know, we have to ensure the contagion is contained. At the same time, we're seeing serious economic loss. What's the impact that you foresee of the lockdown in India and the pandemic on the IT industry as well as Tech Mahindra?
Ultimately, it's a challenging times for all of us. And COVID-19, I can only say from Tech Mahindra perspective that our first and foremost task is that we look after them safety and the well-being of our employees. I think from our perspective, there are a lot of, help that we can give to the government in helping designing digital systems. Tech Mahindra always had an expertise on remote and tele-health management. Tech Mahindra has its own software for emergency response systems, and we are trying to facilitate the digital supply chain. So in a lot of ways, I would like to believe that these contingencies and these difficult times bring out the best in us, and some of our employees do deserve credit for, going beyond their call of duty, and they are helping the communities, they are helping the customers, and they are helping the families.
Of course. Now, ensuring the safety is, of course, of utmost importance. But how tough is it when you're dealing with multiple on-site and offshore centers across the world?
Nothing is normal anymore. And the way things have worked out is, you're basically looking at what is essential services and what are the services that can be delayed. Essential services, obviously, we are able to focus a lot harder. And as I said, many parts of the world, there is a lockdown. At the same time, you have to remember, people are being able to sit in their own houses and, go through this difficult times is because the telephones are working, because the media and entertainment is working, because your energy supplies are working. To some extent, your newspapers are coming to you at your houses. So we do realize what are essential services. We do realize which are the services where the customer is dependent on us. And we are making effort to essentially take advantage of some of the tools that we already have. For example, we have a work-from-home call center application. We have a virtual desktop application called Workstation as a Service. Those are coming in very handy. As a matter of fact, I have had customers place orders for the virtual desktops, the Workstation as a Service, even in the last 10 days, because those guys need it for their other suppliers.
Morning, CP. Nikunj Dalmi also joining in. So what have you heard from your clients? Are they flexible? Are they extending deadlines? Are they considerate about what is happening?
I think, there are various challenges. I won't say that customers in general are very, very collaborative. It is not about a customer and us. It is about together how we resolve the end customers' challenges and problems. So, for example, from work from home, how do you keep the data secure? How do you make sure that the data acts of the various resident countries are being followed? I think the customers are collaborative. We are both addressing the challenges by mutually collaborating and mutually finding out the best and the optimal solution in the current environment.
Now, India is also the back office of the world. How exactly are BPO services now getting migrated? I mean, have you put a rule in place, a process in place, a methodology in place where they can operate from home?
I mean, we obviously have moved some of the processes. I mean, some are call center oriented, some are back office oriented. Some of the processes can be converted from call center to chat oriented, and some of the processes could be automated. I think it's a mix of all of those things. Ultimately, all I can say is we are still able to serve the customers. And the fact is about 10 to 15% of my employees still go to office. I mean, they have a very strict security protocol, safety protocol, and more important is social distancing and official distancing protocol. Difficult as may be, we are able to work collaboratively with our clients.
Right. Mr. Gurnani, this pandemic clearly has brought the world to a standstill. So I'm wondering, what does it mean for your deal pipeline? Because, I mean, could we see an impact on revenues last longer, say 6 months or so, or even beyond that perhaps?
I don't want to hazard a guess. Right now, the situation is so dynamic. Everything is changing by the hour. So I don't want to hazard any guesses. Right now, my focus is on keeping the lights on, both literally in our customer premises and in my own premises. I am not really looking at life beyond COVID-19 at the moment. Right now, all of us are in a crisis management mode. All of us are in a war mode.
Sure. But, as countries and companies go in cost-saving mode, do you not preempt that perhaps your client spends as well would shrink?
I mean, there would be some projects which will not be executed. But that I'm speaking not because any customer is right now asked to cancel a project. One or two customers have indicated that they would like to put discretionary projects on hold. A lot will depend how fast we come out of this crisis. And if it is just a matter of 2 more weeks, I think the normalcy will come back much faster. So, it's difficult to say what is the situation a month from now or 2 months from now.
So which are the most vulnerable verticals, Mr. Gurnani, to this pandemic?
I don't know how to define vulnerable. So I'll give you the way I read the situation is healthcare. We have probably booked 3 or 4 new orders in the last 10 days. Even hospitality industry, which is going through a worse crisis, has issued 1 or 2 orders in the last 10 days. And one of them is a new customer. This is for our virtual desktop solution. As I told you, it's a workstation as a service where we can enable a desktop through the cloud into any home and any environment, and in a fairly secure environment. So, vulnerable may be a wrong word. Some sectors are battling an emergency-like situation, and